Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Procraft. It's my pleasure to bring you Team Liquid's very own Rhett, the macro Zerg master. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northeast of this, the GSL Daybreak, versus his opponent, it is MajOr. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Terran to the southwest. What team is MajOr on right now? He has a tendency of not so much hopping, I suppose, but he has been on quite a few teams, so you know what, I'm actually going to find that out right now. This is one of his other accounts here. It's mostly because he changes his team so much. So I'm about to find out. I believe he's actually... Is he on Checksix at the moment? I think he's on Checksix right now, if I recall correctly. Before that, of course, he used to be on 6 Jacks. And he's had a few other teams here and there, but he's a very powerful player. He's got a really solid record. He's won quite a few online tournaments. He also won the 2011 Latin American Battle.net Invitational. He took it against Killer 2-0. That is Dignitas Killer, if I recall correctly. But then Liquid Rhett. What can we say about Liquid Rhett other than Liquid Rhett's a bit of a badass? He's a bit scary. It's interesting that TLO calls himself the Game of Drones when really it's Rhett that is always the Game of Drones. Rhett plays the Game of Drones every single game, and as everyone is now well aware, when you play the Game of Drones, you win or you die. When it comes to Rhett, it's difficult to say what he'll end up doing. I mean, Rhett actually pushes the boundaries as to how many drones you can actually build in a certain time safely. He's not a safe player. I think people identify him as a safe player, and I disagree with that. I've cast an awful lot of Rhett over the past few months of the Asus Republic of Gamers invite, for instance, as well as DreamHack Winter. Rhett doesn't play it safe. He actually plays very heavy into his economy to the point where he might actually build so much in terms of his economy that he gets caught out. So Rhett plays a style which I like. It's very close to the edge all the time. It's very macro intensive, and it's, in my opinion, risky, and that's cool. I love risky players. Risky players can be so much more fun to watch than safe, and the scary thing about Rhett is that if he's actually able to do... My god. If he can build as many drones as he wants to be able to do, the amount of hurt that he can inflict on his opponent is wave after wave after wave of doom. Once he gets settled on 3+ bases with macro hatch and gets his 85 drone count that he usually looks for, then he just messes people up. He really does. He's what's the best way to describe it? Rhett's like Rocky. And the way that I describe it for that reason is as follows. Rhett's like Rocky in the fact that he takes the punishment for as long as he possibly can and waits for the perfect opportunity to then roll over his opponent with a barrage of blows. Now in the case of Rhett, he's not waiting for his opponent to get tired, he's waiting for the certain number of drones in order to gain the economic advantage that he wants, and then, only then will he actually come out of the corner off the ropes and start to pommel his opponent. MajOr with another scout coming in here. Just wants to double check. He'll see that the hatchery went down at the appropriate time. Nothing particularly unusual here from Rhett, and there's the shutdown of the scout quite easily. Rhett with just 2 queens, not looking for 3 just yet. Doesn't want to spread too much creep as of yet. He will miss and inject deliberately here so that he's able to get a single creep human down. Always good to do that. And then the 3rd queen will then be added on to allow him to spread creep on a more regular basis. Bear in mind that Rhett has all of this balanced out. He knows exactly what he's doing and why he's doing things the way that they are. Expansion coming in right here from MajOr, and we are looking for the very, very standard Reactor Hellion play here. Purpose of Reactor Hellion play, harassment, as well as denying creep spread, which as a result can slow down the 3rd base. Zerg players don't really like to take the 3rd base unless they've got creep access to it. Daybreak does allow for this. Daybreak is a good map. It was actually voted Map of the Year by Team Liquid. I wouldn't necessarily disagree, having seen some amazing play on this particular map. Notice Rhett has deliberately missed quite a few injects in order to allow him to get a triple creep tumor up here, which allows him to spread extremely rapidly. Hellion's now moving in, but these queens should be able to deal with it. Wants to try and deny the creep tumor spread, but it's not happening, and right now MajOr isn't able to actually stop his opponent from spreading creep to the degree that he would like. You also note that Rhett has the economic lead in terms of his drone count. I don't think anyone's really surprised about that. 10 Lings coming out as well. He knows that this force of Hellions could reach a critical mass here, and he needs to secure his third base. His opponent has taken one here, and he's already now looking to expand to a third as well. Daybreak has a tendency for early thirds. It's a fairly nice and accessible third, as you can see. It's not too far away. However, you do run the risk of being harassed from multiple angles, potentially. It's often why you'll see actually buildings and a partial wall-off created around here so that your opponent can't simply go for a run-by through that area. In the meantime, MajOr trying to deny creep spread and actually failing to do so. Not finding a way in either. The more creep that's spread, the less effective harassment with Red Flame Hellion actually is, because it simply cannot get into the base. It will be easily surrounded and destroyed by Lings. Nice and easy response, but look at the number of Lings that Rhett doesn't have. That's perhaps the most important thing to think about. Wow, MajOr actually even using a scan there, which probably didn't want to do, and actually hasn't managed to stop the creep from spreading. Another creep tumor now coming down as these Hellions now move away from it, not having seen them whatsoever. Also good Overlord placement here from Rhett. He sees a lot of the map. He's got a lot of good information. He's also got an Overlord in place here, prepared for sacrifice later on in the game. And as this harassment continues, and there should actually be enough Lings to shut that down without a problem, is once again running borderline. He's only got 12 Lings out, which against five Hellions requires a good surround. If those Hellions give him the slip, those Lings will die almost instantly. But what is MajOr doing in the meantime? We've got the starport right here, and the engineering bay about to complete, looking to start getting upgrades. He's going to be playing primarily bio here, but he's also going to bring tanks into the mix. So Marine tank with a little bit of backup, and also some drop capability. Now, we had Rhett looking for the surround there, not able to get it. Yet more harassment here, but he can't take out enough creep tumors. He is able to kill the active ones, which is perhaps the most important thing. Remember that creep tumors do not work once they have been used. They become inert. In the meantime, this is Rhett's answer. He's got his Mutalisk on the way. And that is when Red Flame Hellion ceases to be useful. Rhett has already spread all the way past that hatchery and then continues to build at this point, so things are looking pretty rosy for him at the moment. His drone count currently at 59. Not unexpected here from Rhett, I feel. Admittedly, he's now actually started to slow down the production of his drones so that he can get a few muters out here and there to do a little bit of harassment. But we're looking for this Marine tank play here from MajOr, who actually is very late on his upgrades, I've got to say. He's got Stim, and was he looking for a drop there? I don't really know. It's like, maybe the Marines just forgot how to embark. Who knows? Perhaps just trying to pick off that Overlord, but that didn't end up happening. Oh yeah, as I said, he's really slow in his upgrades here. He's getting his combat shield very late, he's getting his infantry weapon level 1 very late, and it's triple upgrades coming in here from Rhett. Rhett will happily play an upgrade-heavy style. It does play into his strengths often. He doesn't build a lot of units early on, so that gives him the gas that he needs to build a lot more upgrades. So when he does start to roll people late game, he's got not only a big army, but a strong army. Muta count is pretty high, though, and this is going to be an error here if Rhett can actually exploit it and spot that tank. But the Marine's now moving into intercept, so Rhett will want to get out of there, but he's not going to lose a Muta in the process, and that doesn't really matter too much. Good control right here by Rhett, no problems at all. Scan goes down, and he sees that this creep spread is starting to get very, very crazy. In fact, I think this is kind of a trademark, really, of a lot of these Zerg players on Team Liquid, that they go for these massive, massive creep spreads. Rhett's definitely one of those players. It plays into his style. You got to think about it. What's most important? Tell me, what is best in life when you happen to be building a lot of drones? What is best in life is as much early warning as you can possibly get. And that's exactly what he's providing himself here. He's now on 83 drones. A very small amount for Liquid Red. I expect him to be on at least 160 by now. I have seen him go up to 105. I think that's the most I've ever seen. A bit crazy. Ling's now on the way, having a look around, seeing what they can see. And, ooh, some greedy play potentially here by MajOr. Not putting down a planetary fortress, wants to get an orbital, which makes him potentially vulnerable to harassment. This area right here could be very easily attacked by mutas if he knew about it. Red's mute count now at 15. A few banelings in the mix here and there. Now moving in, and some pretty good control right here by Rhett. Dodging around, not taking too much damage, and will now be able to go straight for the supply depots, forcing a stim as well from MajOr. And unfortunately, the base design of MajOr is playing against him here. Double engineering bay and armory coming down for a very heavy upgrade style from him, but Rhett does have a significant lead in that regard. Looking very, very strong. In the meantime, an attempted bit of harassment. No real damage done here by MajOr, and that medevac is going down. with most of the Marines in for good measure, and Rhett actually saves the mutas too, so things are looking nice there. He's got a couple of defensive banelings. Always a good option. Another stim right there for whatever reason, and now Rhett with an even larger count of mutas, 23 in total here. Used a few for defensive purposes, but looking to get an interception there. He could actually kill that. He could. He would take some damage, but he could kill that entire line there. Now runs right into the missile turret, and a couple of mutas torn from the sky, but Rhett's not too concerned about that, having now taken his 4th as well. Drop shut down in the corner here. Rhett's not having a problem holding against his drops, honestly. Things are looking really strong for him, and the amount of damage that he hasn't taken is revealing. Only 16 drones killed, and does Rhett really care? Not really. He's going to be back above 80 any moment. 56 SCVs for MajOr, and certainly behind the supply count. Rhett's almost maxed out, whereas MajOr not even close. Another base coming down right here, and the harassment here from MajOr is not what I would expect to see from him. It's not of the caliber that one would expect from MajOr. But then again, Rhett is shutting it down so effectively, I have to wonder what you can really do in this situation. And now Rhett's starting to build up his trust fund, knowing that he's pretty much maxed. And it's going to be Mutiling with Baneling, and might even add on some Infestors into the mix after that, or we'll go straight for the Hive Tech. Now Rhett with a large, and I do mean large, number of Lings. And only a small force in the center here. Now those Lings won't really do an awful lot of damage unless they become Banelings here, and a quick pickup. There's not a lot left in the center here. Rhett could very easily smash it, and I think he realizes that. Rhett's sitting on now 29 mutas with +2. That's a lot of damage here, and even forcing a couple of support Thors coming out here from MajOr. Now the drop is on its way over in this direction, but Rhett has overlords everywhere, so that is not going to happen. A lot of Lings coming in, but unfortunately there are a couple of siege tanks to try and deny that from happening. I have to wonder if Rhett will try and sacrifice them anyway to do as much economic damage as he can. That drop is going to be allowed to happen up to the top of Rhett's base, but a big surround right there by Rhett crushes the force in the center. There's the drop. He's going to have to respond to that. He does have a Baneling. It's only one. He needs a couple. I'm pretty sure he had more than that, actually. Yeah, he's got Banelings actually hidden under there. I'm surprised he doesn't simply deploy them. He's going to actually lose his Spire here. But he's going to build 2 more. It's okay. He doesn't really care. I guess he's maxed out at the moment, so it doesn't really matter as long as he doesn't lose his mutas. Another drop down here at the bottom. And it kills a Extractor, but nothing else. Easily shut down here. And Red Slings are pretty badass, honestly. They're +1/+1. They're about to be +2 on both sides as well, whereas +1 armor is only about to finish for those infantry units, and oof, shut down. Very harsh. Marine tank with a little bit of Hellion support moving into the center right here with MajOr. MajOr almost maxed out as well, so things are starting to look a little bit rosier for him, but he's been stuck on 3 bases for the longest time, and it's a lot of Mutiling. It's 115, and Baneling's coming in as well. Definitely an ideal choice, and is very, very close to that. If you have a look at that, it's a little bit crazy. There's the surround, and what a surround that it is. Huge amounts of damage being done, and this force by MajOr is going to end up taking a lot of punishment, but Rhett just threw away a lot of mutas in the process. Less Banelings than I would have liked there, certainly. Now the Banelings move in, but the scan goes out, and MajOr is able to see that. Gonna get out of there as quickly as he can. Is he actually going to stand and fight against that? I wouldn't recommend it. Taking yet more punishment, and MajOr's army has been annihilated, and this is the thing. Rhett can reinforce here, and he's not too worried. Upgrades are plenty coming in for him as well. +3/+3 with the Adrenal Glands upgrade. And then also going for Greater Spire. Now, I'm just going to pause this briefly, if you don't mind, because, as you can see, all of the health bars are on all the time, which is not what we're actually looking for, and that would be bad. Alright. There we go. Now you should be able to see it. And back we go. Rhett's looking for control in the center, and he keeps it. He keeps his bases safe more to the point as well. Harassment of MajOr hasn't really done too much at this point. And I don't know if Marine Tank's really going to work against those upgrades. The upgrade count is just crazy. He's upgrading 4 things at once right here. And he's looking for Greater Spire, which of course is the correct answer to Marine Tank. Oh, the Baneling's just like, you know what? Why not? And there goes your command center. Rhett can afford it. It's not exactly what I'd call efficient, but it is quite funny. And those things hit pretty hard with +2. In the meantime, more Lings moving in, and unfortunately no tanks deployed, and that mineral line is toast. Rhett taking full advantage of the lax defense of MajOr here. That's down to 47 SCVs versus 82 drones. Rhett showing some really solid dominance here. More damage, more damage, more damage. No drops for you, I'm afraid. Red is looking really powerful at this point, and it's going to need a decisive attack from MajOr in order to make this work for him. +2 is about to finish, so he can push in with that, but he is going to be going up against +2/+2 on all sides, as well as +3 very close, and Adrenal Glands will finish as well, so that's a lot more damage that he can do. However, the Infestor transition and a good grab right there. That's a lot of dead Marines that are about to happen. Another Fungal Growth to finish that one off, and that's a bunch of freebies here. No damage done to Red. He's not worried, and, well, MajOr doesn't want to fight on creep, and can you really blame him? It's not a pleasant place to be. Now, MajOr, what you're planning on doing from this point? You're in a bit of trouble. In a pickle, one might say. Full drop coming in, but that should be scouted and easily eliminated here by Rhett. Down he goes. No chance. MajOr just can't get a look in. I think if anything, what MajOr's got to do is actually get a Raven out and start to smash his way through this creep, because the creep that's stopping him from getting anywhere, and he wouldn't want to go so deep onto creep as to take the 4th out. It's just crazy. He's playing very defensively, trying to take a third expansion, that is, 4th base, and he may be able to do so now with that many tanks deployed, but he's in a pretty hairy economic situation. And this is why. He's almost mined out on his natural. He's pretty much mined out on his main. His 3rd is getting a lot of mules dropped on it. So that's starting to get to that stage as well. And Rhett is maxed out once again, and now transitioning through to Broodlords and Infestors. It is a nasty little mix. MajOr stimming for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why that was. It's a bit wasteful as well. Doesn't really have the medevac energy to support that. Ling's easily annihilated, and doesn't matter if you've got Adrenal Glands if you can't get in close. But more Ling's now moving in for Harassment here. Be able to do some fairly significant damage if it's not defended, and it certainly isn't. So no mining from the 3rd for the moment. Mute count's a little bit lower than I would like, but it doesn't really matter because look at that. And that is what happens. If you allow Rhett to get to this point, where he's got this many drones and this many bases, then he's got a lot of scary stuff coming your way. Sniping going on right here from MajOr, and is able to take out a Broodlord, but the ghost count isn't high enough, really. It's a lot of Marines, and, well, that's Infestor bait. As you can see, oh, not enough medevacs to actually back that up, and MajOr takes some punishment. More Corruptors, 12 more coming on, and I don't know, MajOr's going to have to pump out a lot of ghosts here, and he doesn't really have enough bases to support a huge amount of ghost production. Good EMP going off, however, and MajOr with a good engagement in the center, taking some pounding, but able to eliminate some Infestors as well, add some Broodlords. The ghosts get caught in the fungal too, and those Marines melting. Viking count now high enough to clean out the Broodlords here, as you can see, and I have to wonder if some air superiority is going to end up happening from Rhett here. A lot of Infestors taken out, but a lot of ghosts sacrificed, and the thing is, Rhett can afford this, and MajOr really can't. Muta's now moving in, and a quick fungal grab enables the destruction of another Viking. Can he get in one more fungal? Yes, he can, and down goes the Viking, and that puts air superiority firmly in the hands of Rhett with 10 Corruptors, now going for 5 Broodlords as well. The ghost count is almost non-existent. It's only at 4, and Rhett should be absolutely golden against what's about to pop out. And here we go, surprise Broodlords, and oh dear. Will MajOr be able to get close enough? Are there any fungals? There are actually no fungals to stop these from going in after the Broodlords. That's a lot of damage that's going to be inflicted there, and Rhett realizes that, pulls back as much as he can. And really, in this composition, you need the fungals to stop the Marines from getting in close. However, MajOr is being worn down, slowly but surely. More snipes going off. He's able to take down one Broodlord and a second one as well. And Rhett's going to end up losing that base, and that's a good bit of pushing action here from MajOr. Rhett continues to have a strong economy, however, and is sitting on 81 drones, and we saw that big harassment there, and a big fungal goes down. That's a couple of ghosts being eliminated as well. And the strike force of MajOr continues to push forward, but is being reduced slowly but surely, and the ghost count is at 2, which is nowhere near enough to stop what's about to fall on its head. Oh my, oh my. And that is it. The strike force has been eliminated, and most of those guys ain't getting out there alive, I can tell you that for a fact. Medevac picks up a ghost, but the Corruptors might even be able to chase it down, and those tanks now smashed into pieces. Oh dear, that's the economy of MajOr. He's not even mining from this base right here. His natural is pretty much mined out, and Rhett's taking a base right next to his opponent. I have a feeling that MajOr is going to be going out this game fairly shortly. If Rhett's able to remax, which he certainly can. The income comparison looks something like that. Ah, it's an ugly, ugly thing to behold, folks, and Rhett with a big transfer down at the bottom here. What is left? 27 Marines, 3 Ghosts, and a Thor with 3 medevacs backing it up, and maybe, just maybe, they can deny this base, but do you think that's really going to make too much of a difference? We're about to find out. Oh, hidden Banelings! Oh, crouching Major, hidden Baneling. Unfortunately, that was devastating right there. And then the Broodlords move in to defend it. He holds onto that very nicely indeed, and oversaturated right here on this base, and Ling's just waiting for every move he makes. And this base is what's going to determine whether or not Major can get back into this game. A massive drop of mules, 10 in total, to mine this base out as quickly as possible, give him a huge boost in resources to get things back on the field. But Rhett just looks so dominant at the moment, I don't know if it's going to work. The last thing Rhett wants to really do is allow him to mine out this base here. He needs to do damage. Rhett's army is not that large, though. Rhett focusing perhaps again on his economy. He's only on 70 drones at this point. It's quite low for Rhett, honestly, but Infestors and Broodlords now marching in, and here comes the snipes. That's one Broodlord picked off, but that's all the energy gone now, so never mind. He's got a little bit extra. It takes down a second Broodlord, but now what do you answer it with? Marines now moving to a defensive position, but that is, of course, a losing battle eventually. And as soon as the Fungals come in, well, that will be sayonara for that force of Marines. So a lot of damage coming down there, and those Marines melt very rapidly. Another Fungal to follow it up, and I don't think that Major's going to be able to hold on at this point. The Broodlords aren't dying, it's as simple as that. Snipes are able to take down another one, but that one remains. Still 3 in the air, and Infestors, and 2 more being morphed in immediately. And that Thor's able to take down another one. Yet more sniping going down. Down goes the Thor as well, and Major bleeding badly here. An attempted expansion denied up to the top by these Lings. And the thing is that Major doesn't have any harassment potential anymore. He simply can't go in, and Red is slowly grinding him into a pulp in the center here. And that base is now under grave threat, and I have a feeling it's about to die horrendously. That's a quick stim right in here by Major, but it's not enough. The Fungals lock them down easily, and the Lings get the surround as well, and those Broodlords remain in the air. And that's the GG, ladies and gentlemen, right there from Major, and Rhett with a grinding economic style, as always, smashing his way through his opponent. Okay, folks, we'll be right back in just a short moment with, I think it's going to be the feature match of this series. It may be the last one as well in this particular cast. It is going to be Liquid's Jinro versus FXO Oz.